Let's review. We are already go. So what I want to also encourage you all to do is try as much as possible to be conversant with the regulations. And if there's any area, as I said before, even today class was supposed to be centered on review of areas that you know that are not too clear for you. Okay, but let's just have the revision of what I share with you to attempt the 30 questions. All right, so we'll be having the first question here. You say you're a football agent representing FC Sunshine that wishes to engage new players. FC Sunshine is facing financial hardship and asks for your advice in order to find a way to minimize the cost of transfer. You say which of the following option will be allowed under the FIFA regulation, specifically the RSTP. Now, in this context, we're looking at it from the angle of what is the possible way that they can engage player without infringing on the rules. Now, let's look at the options. The first one says FC Sunshine engages the players on loan for free by means of the loan agreement concluded with the players' former club. FC Sunshine agreed that it will engage the players permanently after a period of 1 year against payment of certain amount. This will allow FC Sunshine to have enough time to obtain the amount needed to pay for the player's transfer fee, which is okay. Because you understand this scenario now, FC Sunshine will get these players for free on loan from their parents' club. Then they'll give them 1 year that there's possibility that after 1 year they would have stabilized financially and pay. So this one is okay. Then B, FC Sunshine should only focus on engaging amateur players. These players should sign their first professional contract with an amateur club, training category 4 that is already cooperating with FC Sunshine. The amateur club will then transfer the players to FC Sunshine. Like this, FC Sunshine will save money by not paying training compensation. You know, this arrangement is breach transfer. Okay, it's not allowed. Then let's go to C. FC Sunshine reaches a transfer agreement with the players club by means of which these clubs are entitled to a percentage of any future transfer of the players that is sell-on free. This is allowed. So what it means is that they transfer the player to FC Sunshine for free, but because FC Sunshine does not have money to pay now, they agree on a future percentage that will be entitled to them in case those players move from FC Sunshine to other club. So C is also allowed. Then D, FC Sunshine sells the economic right of the players to an investment fund in exchange for an amount that will help FC Sunshine to pay the transfer fee for their players. You know, this automatically is a breach of Article 18 third party ownership. So the only allowable one within the regulation is A and C. Number 152. Anders accepts to join FC Pops in Chile and is about to move from Australia. He asks Sabina, his football agent, to finalize the contract formality with FC Pops and also to support him and his family in moving from Australia to Chile once he completes the transfer. Okay. And finalize the contract for Anders. What are the possible options for Sabina? Okay. A say non-listed, so it's already out of it for us not to discuss. Then we'll go further now to what's it again? B. B said to ask FIFA to ensure a minimum level of accommodation for others in a foreign country. Accommodation is not under the jurisdiction of FIFA, so it does not concern FIFA. Okay. Then C, to secure an apartment for Anders and without any charge for his service, which is okay. That is, the agent can actually work, perform other services, and decide not to charge the player charges for performing the other services. Then D, option available to the agent now, Sabina, to secure an apartment for the player and also charge consultation fee under a separate agreement. So this is also another option. Now, remember I told you when I was teaching you the FFAR that the other services rendered by agents is subject to their decision to either charge or not to charge. So you can see in this context now for 152, the agents have the option to either charge or not to charge. So the options available for Sabina in this context is C and D. 153. 24-year-old player was transferred internationally from Club A to Club B against payment that are due in 3 installments to be paid on 1st January 2024, 1st January 25, 1st January 26 on EPP ZZZ was duly generated as a result of this transfer. And according to the determination of the EPP, Club C, D, and E are entitled to solidarity contribution. Considering the above, which of the following statements are true? Now let's look at statements that are correct here for 153. Okay. It said, considering that the EPP is approved and notified to the parties on 1st January 2024, and Club B must pay all 3 installments and upload the respective proof of payment within 30 days of the date of approval. This is not true. The payment will come as already agreed. So it's not, this particular statement is saying that Club B, which is the buying club, must pay immediately. No. They've already agreed that the payment will be staggered on 3 installments. So this first statement is not true. So let's go to the second one. It said Club B must upload the proof of each payment within 30 days of the date of payment. And consequently, an allocation statement of solidarity contribution will be generated, okay, after each declaration of proof. This is true. I told you that for solidarity, it's only when the buying club upload proof of payment that they pay transfer fee to the selling club. That is when the what's it called? Allocation statement will be generated. So B is true. Then C, no allocation statement will be generated if the new club does not declare the proof of payment for a statement. This is also true. So if the new club did not declare that they have paid to the selling club, no allocation statement will be generated. Then D, say 3 allocation statements for solidarity will be automatically generated on 1st January, 1st January 2025, 2024, 2025, and 1st January, regardless of whether Club B declares proof of payment. This is not true. Without proof of payment, allocation statement will not be generated. You know, I told you allocation statement states who will pay who and the amount that is due. And it's a proof of statement that is generated, that is uploaded, that will be used to calculate the amount that is due for allocation statement. So for 153, the answer for 153 is B and C. 154. What may prevent a service fee from being charged when a football agent is representing an individual who is a minor signing their first professional contract? You remember I told you that the 2 grand for which an agent representing a minor will not be paid service fee is if the association and the national law, they ban charging service fee when representing minor, which is B and C. B and C for 154. Okay, 155. Jimmy enters into a 1-year rep agreement with a football agent called Joe. Shortly afterward, Jimmy receives a call from a foreign club called FC Stockton, who make Jimmy an offer to sign for them and become their first team striker. Happy with the offer, Jimmy instructs Joe, his agent, to negotiate a contract for him with FC Stockton. Following a few days of negotiation facilitated by Joe, Jimmy signs a 6-month contract with the club. In the last month of Jimmy's contract, the club chairman agrees a further 6-month contract extension directly with Jimmy, which is the player. Joe is disappointed because he has an exclusive, he have a rep agreement with the player, and the player did not inform him that this club want to extend his contract. Now, what can Joe do? In this context, Joe can do nothing because the player also have the autonomy to represent himself in case he want to renew his contract. And if you even look at the question very well from the beginning, The player was the one that actually got the deal, not even the agent. So he invited the agent into the deal. And after some time, when they needed to extend the contract, he told the agent that maybe he did not even inform the agent. He just decided to conclude the transaction with the club. So in this context, the agent cannot do anything, cannot submit any claim. He cannot say, "Oh, I still have a rep agreement with the player before he went to represent himself." Nothing stops the player for representing himself in case of any transaction. Okay, so in this context, number 155, the answer is nothing. Joe can do nothing. Please remember, if you have any question, you can interrupt me or any of all those ones, instead of us to go run fast. 156. Now, player S is a rising star in women football, and Club A wishes to engage her, offering her professional status. Club A and player S agree that she will receive a percentage of the transfer fee paid to Club A for future transfer. Is this practice allowed in the RSTP? Now, in this context, what they are saying is that a player, remember I've explained this to you when I was teaching you about sign-on. And yes, in RSTP, I remember I shared it with you. I told you that maybe for example, now Eddie want to sign for Man U, and Eddie know that his salary is supposed to aim is in the value of like $10,000 weekly. And Man U say, okay, we cannot pay you that $10,000, but we can pay you $5,000. Then, as your performance increases, in case another club is interested in you, when they want to send you to, if we want to sell you, any amount we sell you, you will be entitled to 10% of it. In that context, it is allowed. Okay, a player can be entitled to a future transfer. So a player, I told you the definition of third party, a player, the club that he has previously played for, the two clubs involved in his transfer, these are the people that are not third party. Any other person is a third party. Meaning a club that he has never registered for before, or any other person, a player, a coach, a club president, they are all third party. Okay, so in this context for 156, the answer in 156 is D. Players are not considered a third party in the context of their own transfer, and they can participate in future compensation in connection with their own transfer. 157. On 7 August 2023, the Football Tribunal rendered a decision by Miss, which he rendered order Agent M to pay an amount of $200,000 of breach of contract to Club P. On 7 November 2023, as the amount due had still not been paid, Club P lodged a complaint before the FIFA Disciplinary Committee. What are the possible consequences for Agent M? Agent M could be sanctioned with a fine of 15,000 Swiss francs and also granted a final deadline of 30 days to pay. Now, I saw some of you that you selected that his football agent license will be suspended until. No, it does not mean that if you are owing some money, then automatically your license will be suspended. No, that is not it. You will be fined and also given an opportunity to redeem the payment obligation that is due for. Then also, being in debt does not automatically warrant you being banned from taking part in all football-related activity. So the answer for 157 is B and C. 158.
I have just a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Regarding the answer D. If, let's say, this answer didn't specify the period, would that be correct? If, let's say, the answer was like that, he will be banned from taking part in any football-related activity.
Okay, now what I'm trying to say, we are looking at the consequences for the agent. Okay, in line with the disciplinary committee, if failure to honor decision will come about a fine. Okay, the disciplinary code will bring about a fine and also a ban, what's it called? A deadline to pay. Now, we are talking about a ban from taking part in all football-related activity. It is not an immediate possible consequence for him.
Because
Okay.
this is mentioned in the annex. The only thing that I saw in that I didn't see in the annex was the period of 3 months. So when I was searching the answer to this question, I saw that this could be also, let's say, a sanction that he will be banned from taking part in any football-related activity. But there was not, let's say,
I
the
agree
period.
with you, staff. What I'm trying to say now, I think you are also very correct. Okay, yeah, I think the only thing you are saying that negates the D option is the period of 3 months, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So meaning that if I thought they gave this agent these 30 days and also fine and he still refused to pay, it could amount to a ban from taking part in football activity for some period, but not 3 months. I think that's where you are coming from.
Yes. So in
Oh.
this case, if there was not a specified period, would that be correct, this answer, or not?
Yes, that may be a consequences also.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, that may be a consequence because what it means is that if you fail to pay after these 30 days, then definitely a ban will come. But one thing I can tell you that majorly what the regulations say that could lead to suspension of license is failure to pay the annual fee and also failure to complete the CPD. Those are the two major things that could bring about suspension of license.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Mr.
that
Now,
Mr.
was
Mr. Eddie,
158.
sorry. Is it
Yeah,
possible
go ahead.
we go to the page on the manual to check and see the answers which staff has given and the answers you've given, so have a bit more clarity?
Yes, we can, but okay, let me see. Just 1 minute. Let me go to.
Or what page did staff find it
It's
when
page
he
69. I'm coming. It's a failure to respect decision. Okay, this failure to respect decision. So anyone who fails to pay another person, such as a player, a coach, or a club, or a FIFA, a sum of money in full part, even though instructed to do so by a body. Okay, anyone who fails to comply with another final decision passed by a football may be fined for failing to comply with a decision and receive any pertinent additional disciplinary measure, and also will be granted a final deadline in which they pay the amount due. Okay, let's say this is in case of club. We are not talking about club. This is in case of member association. Okay, look at F now. This is case of natural person. It said upon expiring of that 30 days, an event of persistent failure to comply in full with the decision within the period stipulated, a ban on any football-related activity for a specific period may be imposed. Other disciplinary measure may be imposed also. Have you seen it?
yes, can we
So you
see
can see
also?
that the option they gave was specific, that a ban of 3 months, and the disciplinary code did not specify a period for it. But if we go further, okay, let me see if I can just go down to
The annex is on page 106. Annex 1.
the annex here.
Yes, this one, yeah, exactly.
Failure to respect decision. You can see the amount almost equivalent within 100 and 100,001 to 250. It is 15,000. This is 15,000. Okay. Then you can see here also 30 days, which was there. Then let's look at natural person in position of a ban on any football related activity. There is nothing relating to withdrawal of license. There is nothing specific relating to 3 months. That is the clarification I gave to staff just now that you requested for. I don't know if it's clear now. Mr. Francis.
Yeah, it's clear, but then it means that with Stav, what Stav has said, so it's the imposition of a ban will be one of them, because I had that. Then the 30 days, that was another one. And then you have the 15,000 fine on the answers which are there.
No, Stab was asking me that in case the option available did not stipulate 3 months, whether he should select that ban on early football related activity, and I say yes. I say because that specific period of 3 months nullify that answer. Are you
Okay.
clear now?
Yeah, but if we go back to the question, sir.
Okay, let's go. Right here.
Yeah. Okay. So it says, so we're looking at it 3 months. So I'm looking at the three answers which we had there. He will be sanctioned with a 15,000 fine, which is there. He will be granted a final deadline of 30, which to pay. So that 30 days goes back there. He will be banned from taking part in any activity. So my answer would have been B, C, and D. Because the thing is, because it says on the 7th of August.
Try understand what I just showed to you just now from the dictionary code. There is no period at all. So for you to say that if at all an agent is owing 200,000, it will be banned for 3 months. Where is your basis? What's the legal basis? Where did you get that from for 3 months?
So you're saying that
understand?
So you're saying that the ban is only after 3 months? When does the ban come into place?
No. I'm saying in case FIFA give an option and they did not stipulate the period,
Yeah.
then the answer is correct. For example, they said, oh, the agent will be banned from taking part in any football related activity. Choose it as a correct answer. Do you understand? But the reason when I said it is not correct is because they stipulated that it is 3 months. That 3 months now nullifies it because there's no basis for you to say 3 months. You can see that we were able to establish 15,000. We were able to establish 30 days deadline, but there's no place to establish the 3 months.
Look at the date from August to November is 3 months.
No. You don't. That means you don't understand. You don't understand this D properly. They are saying that he will be banned for 3 months, not the period he's owing the money. He will be banned for 3 months. It does not mean, so what you are trying to say now, many, if he was ordered to pay the money in 7 August 2023, and as 7 July 2024, he has not paid, he will be banned for 12 months. That's what you are trying to say.
Okay, so it's the 3 months at the bottom, which you're saying on the answer that's incorrect.
You said what?
Is the 3 months at the end of at D? The answer for D is what you're saying is not correct.
Yes. So if you have the option during the exam setting and they say the agent will be banned from taking part in any football related activity without a period stipulated, please choose it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Can we just go back to that annex? Because there's something I saw there. I don't know whether who might help the class. You know, they
Okay,
said
let me go back there.
Okay, additional. They said at further disciplinary measure in case of failure to comply by the final deadline. I think this ban should come after the 30 days have elapsed.
Yes, after the 30 days have elapsed, yes.
So because in the question, they didn't ask us about the additional, the further disciplinary measure. They just asked. So from that question, I think the answer should be the first two you said, the 30 days and the 15,000 fine. I don't know.
Yes, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I've seen it. You're correct, because it just says an imposition of a ban on any football-related activities, but it doesn't put a month or time duration on it.
All right. Can we go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. So we move to 158. If a candidate is found to be performing football agent services on 2nd February 2024 without the required license, when can this candidate apply? Okay, when can they apply to become a football agent? So in this context now, you know that FIFA instructed that anyone who were performing football agent services before, they will have 2 years window to wait before they can register for, apply for this license. So you just have 2 years after, okay, which is 3rd February 2026. So the answer for 158 is just straightforward, 3rd February 2026. I hope that is okay. All right, 159. Could a club be considered a third party? Yes, but not always. Remember I told you that clubs that are not involved in a player transfer, they are third party. Okay, so you can see that D is the best option. Yes, but not always. Okay, then 160. A bridge transfer generally comprises which of the following elements? Let's look at it. There are sporting benefits for the transfer involving the player. Okay. Automatically, you know that if at all I'm going to receive a transfer fee, and I'm also going to use this player to play my Champions League, meaning that I needed this player, so it cannot be said to be a bridge transfer. So there is no sporting benefit when we're talking about bridge transfer. Just like using a club to circumvent the payment of training compensation and other fees. So let's look at B. So A is not part of it. B, from the outset, the intention is for the player to move from their first club to the final club without the bridge club obtaining any sporting benefit from the transfer, which is correct. Okay. Then C, a player transfer either nationally or internationally at least twice within a very short period of time is also another element of bridge transfer. Then a player who does not play or very seldom play for the club or that are not in the first or final club in their transfer history. So now let me give you an instance. For example, now I remember I used the Romanian club for you when we were teaching this bridge transfer. I told you, for example, Arsenal needs a player and they came to Nigeria and they saw an exceptional player. And because the player was so good, they needed the service of that player, and they don't want to pay training compensation. They now moved the player to a club in Romania. And after some time, they now went to Romania to go and sign up that player from the club in Romania. And in that context now, what will happen? The player will move from the Romanian club to Arsenal without the Romanian club benefiting. Okay, so that is an element of bridge transfer. So the answer for 160 is B, C, and D. And 161.
Mr. Eddie,
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead.
Eddie,
sorry, just a quick one on that 159. If the player going to from Arsenal to the Romanian club, would it matter the tier of the club if it's a fourth tier club or second tier? That's as per the compensation aspect of.
Yes, yes. The tier of the club is very important. You know, if it is a tier 4 club, guys, a
For
category 4 club,
yes,
the category 4 club will not pay training compensation.
compensation. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so imagine if it's a category 2 or a category 3 club, they will pay training compensation, so they will not agree to that.
Yes, yes, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
welcome. So 161.
sorry, Mr. Eddie, I wanted to go back on that one again. And the
Yeah,
160.
go ahead.
You know, it says if you go to the D part, I can't see it at the moment. I can't see it.
I didn't hear you clearly.
I can't see the D. The D answer.
Okay, let me scroll up again.
Yeah, it says, so on D, it says a player who does not play or very seldom plays for the club or clubs that are not the first or final club in their transfer history. So he doesn't play. So he's not like an exceptional talent. He doesn't play for the club. Very seldom plays. So how would that try and be like a bridge transfer? If it was someone who was exceptional, he's playing, I can understand that. But this one, he seldom plays. So he's not really an exceptional talent for the club.
Okay, now, I explained this before. Let me see, use the Romanian club again. For example, if Arsenal were the one that came to Africa to come for maybe a scouting tournament, and they saw this exceptional player, and they are the one that actually needs this player, but because they have collaboration with the Romanian Category 4 club, they were able to move the player to the Romanian club. Now, the Romanian club actually do not need the service of this player, but they needed to just register this player in order to circumvent the rule as related to training compensation. So what it means is that this player may not have a playing time because automatically it may not be in the plans of the coach or the management. But because they want to use it to circumvent the rule, is also an element that is common with bridge transfer. So a player will be taken to a club that is actually not needed, because you know that realistically for club transfer, if a club want to go and say they want to engage in service of a player, it's a player they actually need his services. So for maybe one full season, after the player had joined them, being that the player is fit, in good health condition, and this player is not being featured in the team, is an element of bridge transfer.
Okay, thank you. That makes a bit more, brings more clarity to the whole idea. So it's the Romania club who are the ones who have put that in place. They've used them rather than the original club. So when it says first or final club, okay.
All right, thank you. Now, the 161 here, it said the FIFA clearinghouse, what is the objective of it, or what does it do? What is the reason why it is set up? It applied to all transfer and registration of players in which the trigger for the entitlement of training rewards occurs as of 16 November 2022 when it was approved. Okay, let's look at the first option, why it's not correct. The ROSTP is the regulation that lays down the global binding rules concerning the status of player. Okay, so A is knocked off. I've already discussed B. Then C, do not apply to the transfer of women football. That is not correct. Training compensation, even though it does not apply to women football, solidarity does. Okay, solidarity does. So transfer FIFA regulation also encompasses women football. Then also, are in accordance with FIFA statutes in case of any inconsistency between FIFA statutes. This is not it at all. So the answer for 161 is FIFA clearinghouse apply to all transfers and regulations for players in which the trigger for the entitlement of training rules occurred as of 16th of November 2022. I noticed most of you got this one right. Then 162. Which of the following consequences may a club face if it unlawfully fails to pay a player at least 2 monthly salaries? I told you the only ground for a player to terminate his contract is when a club owes him or her 2 months salary. So the consequences that a club could face is that the player may be entitled to training compensation, and the player can also terminate the contract. Okay, so 162 is A and B. The club may not receive warning. That is on when it is issue of overdue payable of 1 month. Okay. The club that is breaching the contract cannot be seen to have a just cause to terminate the contract. So 162, the answer is A and B. 163, you represent a player that has just returned to his parent club after being loaned abroad for 1 year. Upon his return from the loan, his club offered him to be transferred on loan to another club for 1 season. After having verified the terms of the loan, you notice that the transfer will correspond to a bridge transfer aimed at circumventing the ban on third-party ownership. Which of the following is the correct approach that you could use, okay, as an agent? First, as an agent, you must immediately report any breach of the FIFA RSTP to the relevant authority or body, which is correct. Then B, since the player will be loaned and not transferred permanently, Article 5 BIS of the RSCP does not apply. Therefore, the player does not risk facing any disciplinary consequences. This is not true because you notice the element of third-party ownership. So B is not part of the option. Then C, anyone subject to a FIFA disciplinary code must immediately report to the Secretariat of the disciplinary any violation or an attempt to violate the FIFA disciplinary code by any third party, which is correct. Okay, it's an approach that an agent should take. Then D, you must inform the player that he could face disciplinary consequences for being involved in a breach transfer, which is also correct. So 163, the answer is A, C, and D. Now 164. Within how many days must an electronic domestic transfer communicate details about a national transfer that includes transfer compensation to FIFA? I told you then when we're dealing on the national transfer on FIFA clearinghouse is 30 days. 30 days. Within 30 days, the information must be shared. Then the answer is A for 164. 165. Club A and Club B enter into an agreement for the transfer of player S. According to the agreement, Club B will pay Club A a transfer fee of 10 million euros. Moreover, the clubs agree that Club B will pay Club A a sell-on fee of 30%, which is okay. You can see from these first two sentences, they are very perfect. They are within the regulation. Nevertheless, Club A want to make sure that player S, who is still a young and has big potential, become a star and can shine and have a higher market value. So for this reason, Club A and Club B, they agree on several clauses that give the club the possibility to decide when player S should be fielded by Club B. In case Club B does not follow the instruction of Club A, it will have to pay different penalty fee. Does this agreement breach the ROSTP? Now, you look at it critically. Meaning that the first club want to have influence on the decision of the new club. So in this context, there is already a breach of Article 18 BIS, which is third-party influence. So let's look at the options available for us, if at all they breach. 165. Yes, this corresponds to a breach of Article 18 BIS of the RSTP, since the parties enter into an agreement that gives Club A the possibility to influence Club B decision with respect to performance of his team. Correct. A is correct. Then B, he say no. If fact, as you see no, you just skip. No need to waste your time. Then C, let's see. Yes, it is a breach of Article 18 of the RSTP since sell-on fees are forbidden. You know, sell-on fees are not forbidden, so C is also knocked off. Then D, no. As you see, no need. So the answer is A. It corresponds to a breach of Article 18 BIS. Now, 166. Olivio is a Portuguese player who was transferred from his own town, Sporting Bao, to German club FC Krakow at the beginning of the 2024-2025 season. After playing few matches during the first part of the season, FC Krakow decided to temporarily transfer Olivio on loan to a third club, FC Chao, from January 2025 until the end of the season, that is on the 30th of June 2025. So if you look at the narration and also the date specified here, you will notice that the three clubs, they play within the same single window. Okay? So let's assume now, let's put a name to the clubs now. The Portuguese player was actually playing in a Portuguese league and he moved to German club and he moved back again to a Portuguese club. So all of them play within the same window, which is not overlapping. That is 2024-2025 season that begins in the August or July and end in the June next year. So they play in the same window. So what it means is that a player that is to be registered within these three clubs is only allowed to play for only two clubs within that same season. So now let's look at the options available for us. 166. It said, Olivio may play with FC Chao regardless of whether he played official matches with Sporting Bao. This is not correct. If he play official matches for Sporting Bao and also play for FC Krakow, he cannot play for FC Chao again, because that will amount to play for three clubs, and it is allowed to play for two clubs within a season that are the same windows, at the same registration competition period. So if it happened that this player is joining a club within that season, he cannot play for a third club. Then let's look at B. Olivier may not register for more than 2 clubs during the season. This is not true. He can register for 3, but can only play for 2 in a season that is of the same competition. Then C. Olivier may play with FC Shao only if he did not participate in any official match with his first club Sporting Bar. This is correct. So what it means is that if he did not play for a first club and he has played for Krati, he can still play for Shao because he's still within the 2 clubs within the same season. Then D. Olivier may train and play with FC Shao in non-official matches, regardless of whether he played official matches with Sporting. But this is also correct, meaning that he can play in friendly matches. Okay, nothing stopping him from participating in training and in friendly matches. So in 166, the answer is C and D. 167. Upon an electronic player passport, we are looking at the correct answer now for 167. Upon electronic player passport with entitlement becoming final, an electronic then the club does not have to upload the proof of each payment in electronic. This is not correct. Even though it's a national transfer, it must still upload it. Then D. After the conclusion of the EPP review, the FIFA General Secretariat, in situation of legal or factual complexity, must refer the matter to the player statute. This is not correct. It is during review that if the matter is not concluded before they will refer it. Okay, so the only correct answer here is A. 168. Which of the following answers are correct with respect to match officials' reports? A say additional report provided by the match official will not form part of the relevant case. 5 is not correct. Facts contained in match official reports and in any additional report or correspondence submitted by the match official are presumed to be accurate. Okay, this is the right word. But let's look at C. Facts must be reported by both the match commissioner and the referee in order to consider accurate. No, match commissioner can give a different report. Match referee can give a different report. It must not be the same for it to be accurate. So this is not true. Then D. Proof of inaccuracy of any match report may not be provided. This is not also true. Because I told you during when we're dealing with dictionary code, I told you that a referee could actually make a mistake of identity. For example, he needs to give yellow card to number 5 and he gave it to number 6. So there are proof that that is an error. That decision can be overturned by the disciplinary committee. Okay. So for 168, the answer is B. 169. Rihanna is a successful businesswoman who has identified a need for a local private football academy in her city. After proceeding with a business plan and setting up Prime Elite Academy, her success quickly draws the attention of AFC Royals, the national champions of UNIA. The owner of AFC Royals offered Rihanna a partnership under which Prime Elite Academy will be affiliated to the club, and also Rihanna will receive 5% ownership stake in the club in return. After all these successes, Rihanna decided to apply for a football agent license, but her license was rejected by FIFA. Why was she rejected? Now let's look at the reason why she was rejected. Prime Elite Academy is affiliated to FC Royals, a club affiliated to Union FA. That is correct. There's a reason why she's rejected because she is working with a club that is played in the league. The arena did not seek prior permission from FIFA to operate an academy. You don't need to seek permission from FIFA before you operate an academy. So that's not the reason why she was rejected. Then C, Rihanna has interest in Prime Elite Academy, correct. Rihanna also has interest in AFC Royals, also correct. So A, C, and D for 169. Now 170. When entering a rep agreement with a coach, which of the following signatures are not required? It's just between the agent and the coach that is required. So the signature that are not required is the coach previous football agent, the coach team captain, an official from the coach current club. All those are not required signature. So A, B, and C are there. Then 171. Emma Williams has been playing for a reputable football club for several years. Recently, she informed her club that she's expecting a child and inquire about the maternity leave provision outlined in her contract. According to our current contract, female players are entitled to maternity leave during the term of their contract, paid at the equivalent of 2/3 of their contractual salary. However, Emma is curious about whether there are more beneficial conditions provided in the applicable national laws or an existing collective bargaining agreement in the country where her club is based. If the national law or collective bargaining agreement provide more beneficial conditions than the contract, which one will prevail? I think I told you before that anytime there is an existing beneficial agreement that is in place, that one will always prevail. Okay, that one will always prevail. So in this context now, the more beneficial condition will always prevail. So the answer for 171 is A. 172, which of the following activity constitute football agent services? I think I'm emphasizing on this again now. The role you play for the player to go to maybe conclude a transaction or also terminate a contract or represent a club, represent a coach, represent even a player in this context, all those constitute football agent service. Now, in 172, negotiating the termination of a coach professional contract is an agent service. Organizing a player trial with a club is an agent service. Negotiating a commercial endorsement agreement for a player is other services. Okay. Then representing client before FIFA Football Tribunal is also other services. All these are not agent services. Those C and D is not. So the answer for 172 is A and B. 173. Who should a football agent never approach to represent in the last 60 days of their rep agreement? A potential client who is a minor without contacting their legal guardian first, even if the minor has already signed their first professional contract. So if you are approaching a minor without contacting their legal guardian, you should never do that. So A is correct. B, a potential client who is a minor without contacting their legal guardian is almost the same with A, so B is also correct. Then C, a club under a non-exclusive rep agreement. If a club is under a non-exclusive rep agreement, meaning the club can sign agreement with anybody. So you can actually approach a club. Then an employed coach under a non-exclusive agreement, you can also approach that kind of coach because now let me define exclusivity and non-exclusivity. Exclusivity means that if you enter into an exclusive contract or exclusive agreement with a client, meaning that everything relating to that service you render is only you that the person will consider. Then if it is non-exclusive, meaning that if there is any other agent or any other person that could offer the same service, then you are also out of the picture. Okay. Sorry for that break. So as I said, the 173 now is telling you that I've told you I've defined exclusivity and non-exclusivity. And non-exclusive meaning that the person have the liberty to negotiate with anybody, can represent any fellow in non-exclusive ground. Okay.
So, sorry, Mr. Eddie.
Yeah,
Quick,
go ahead.
just on the side note, as per this exclusivity and non-exclusivity representation agreements, what will be the standard practice for an agent? Would it be
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. The standard practice is depending on the client because it's not unilateral on the part of an agent. So, for example, now you could approach a player that is an exciting talent, and a player will say, okay, I also have other agents that are interested in me. So long you said you have a club that is interested in me in Norway, I can sign a non-exclusive agreement with you so that it wouldn't be like if you go to that Norway and you couldn't get me a club, if I sign an exclusive contract with you, meaning any other agent from Norway cannot come and deal with me again. So, this our business is business of connection. So if you sign an exclusive contract with an agent and he say, I will get you a club from Norway, and he fails to get a club, if another agent who has connection brings a deal for you, you cannot sign it. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
okay.
what it means is that if you sign a non-exclusive agreement with that agent, if that agent brings a deal for you, fine, you are able to conclude it. But if he's unable to bring a deal for you, meaning that another one will have the liberty to also deal with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead now. $174. If a club fails a first compliance assessment, what will happen? $174. Remember, I shared with you already that the club that fails a compliance assessment will be given an opportunity to pass that particular compliance assessment within 6 months. Okay. So let me just get straight to the answer. The answer is C. A club will be subject to disciplinary proceeding in accordance with the Article 17 and remains obliged to pass that compliance assessment. The club shall pass the compliance assessment within 6 months. All right. 175. During a qualifying match for the FIFA World Cup, a player makes a gesture that is seen as homophobic towards an opponent. What are the potential consequences for the player? Now, take note of this. If the player make that kind of move, there are sanctions because FIFA is against racism. So in this context, the player may face harsher sanction if he had already committed a similar offense in the previous 3 years. That is B. And also, the other correct answer for 175 is the player will be suspended for at least 10 matches or an appropriate period of time, which is D. B and D in this context. All right. 176. In principle, which conditions need to be satisfied for a service fee to be paid to a football agent when representing an individual under a 1-year employment? So what are the conditions that must be fulfilled? Remember, I told you before an agent could be paid, first, there must be closure of the relevant registration window where the player moves. Then also, the payment will be made in the when the individual receives his remuneration. So, for example, if I represent a player that is supposed to earn $10,000 monthly, and maybe I agreed the agreement, I agreed with the agent as an agent of a player, maybe we entered into an agreement in January and I was able to move into a club in June and the window is still open. The only time the player can say, okay, he wants to pay me is when the transfer window has closed, maybe in August or June. All right. And also the player have also received money. So if the player did not receive salary, he cannot pay. Okay. So the answer for 176, the correct options are B and D. All right. Then 177, which of the following requirement must be fulfilled in order for the so-called European EU exception to apply? Okay, in this 177 now, first, the transfer occurs within the territory of EU or EAA, or the player is a national or one of the members of that country. So it's very important. Remember, I told you, player age between 16 and 18, they can also move. The minor exception for EU, EAA, they can move within their region. And also, the club must guarantee the player academic or vocational education. The player must still be undergoing school training. So 177, the answer is C and D.
Why,
178.
just,
Yeah,
Eddie,
go ahead.
sorry. Why B cannot be a correct answer? I didn't choose it. However, I'm wondering why it shouldn't be a correct answer. B, any club within the EU can benefit from this exception.
Okay. Now, which of the following requirement must be fulfilled? Now, you now said any club within the EU or EAA can benefit from this exception. Now, there are some clubs that cannot guarantee the player academy and school of vocational education. Do you think they can benefit from it? Stop.
No. Okay, now I understand it. Okay.
All right.
But in this case, if let's say there was one comma after the word exception, providing that the club guarantees the player an academic, school, or vocational education,
Yes.
it would be correct in this case?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I see.
That is a
Okay,
very critical condition.
yes.
But you agree with me, not all EU club can guarantee the academic education.
No, of course not. Yes. Okay, thank you. I understand now.
All right. 178. One sanction may be imposed on an engaging club if you face the FIFA clearinghouse second compliance in relation to allocation statement. For 178, they may be banned. That is the new club that is signing the player. They may be banned on registering new players, and also they can also be fined. All right, so B and C for 178. Then 179, who is responsible for the registration of information that are included in the final EPP? The member association handles that registration, which is the 180. The Jersey Football Association. I think I've given you this question before. They actually are responsible for organizing football in Barwick of Jersey and Ireland, a self-governing British crown. And the GFA applied to become a member of UEFA, but they rejected the application. Can GFA apply to be a member of FIFA? No. Because remember, before you become a member of FIFA, you must first become a member of your confederation. So since they cannot secure membership of UEFA, they cannot also join FIFA. So the answer is A. So that will come to our end of
Okay, just one question, quick question.
Go ahead, brother.
179. Clubs are not responsible for the registration in the AEPP.
Okay, 179. Clubs cannot enter registration period on the electronic player passports.
Okay.
It is the member association. It's the member association that have the registration details, not clubs.
Okay.
So, for example, if you have a club that have trained a player even for 10 years, and you want to enter the information without the entering of your club details by your member association, it will not be accepted.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. Please don't stop reading. You have only next week for us to be together. I'm praying for you to understand what you read. I wish you all the best. Thank you, and God bless.